In this video, I'm going to outline some of the features and qualities we have of the Jarraff mechanical tree trimmer. Specifically, the cab operations. We'll go over anything from the hydraulic controls to the display, the controls, and some of the other state-of-the-art features we have. Essentially, this emergency stop is the primary key switch. When this is pulled up, the display will then come alive, and there's a button on here to turn the display on, and also doubles as the ignition. So when that's pressed, it will ask you for a PIN code. What this PIN code is your 4-digit code to now use as your key. This can also be changed, which I'll get into later. The engine start button you see here, it is a momentary switch, but it is also latched. So all you have to do is touch that once, and it will start to turn over the engine until the engine fires. There's an engine stop. If that's illuminated, that's telling you something is wrong with the engine. It's always engine related. If it's that symbol, and it will either shut the engine down automatically, or if you do see that and it hasn't, the operator should then shut the engine down. The one next to that, it's the same engine symbol but with an exclamation point. This one is going to illuminate yellow, and this means that it's a warning. This would be a condition where you may be in a D rate, where the engine may not be running all the way up in RPM, or it may be in a limp home mode where you have reduced power. In the system options here, there's cameras. The camera options on the Jarraff trimmer, as standard, is a backup camera. It is a SV2 back cam, is how it is indicated on the display. You will also see an SV1 side cam. What this is an option we offer, and it will be populated if that machine were to have that feature. If it does not have that feature, it will just be blank. One thing to note here is you can always add that option at any time down the road, and you will just need to assign that camera to the side cam. The next one will be how to change the PIN code of the machine. It has a lock on it, which it will require the current PIN code to allow you access to then change it to something new. Type in the current PIN code, and then it will say show PIN adjust, and you will change that to true. It will then ask you what the new PIN is, and you enter that in at that time. Now we will go over the features outside of the display for the Jarraff mechanical trimmer. Starting with the front door, moving rearward, first we'll have the wiper here. This has 2 speeds, and it is primarily used to keep the sawdust off the front window. Also be cautious about it being dry with the dust and potentially scratching. Next, you'll have the latch to shut the door, and also the internal latch to exit the machine when you're in the inside. This is also a lockable keypad latch from the outside, so you can lock the machine when not in use. One safety feature we have added to the door in recent years is a door closed switch. If the door is not shut, the saw operation is disabled. In accordance to the door switch, in relation to the saw operation, this machine will also utilize a seat switch for a dual function feature. If you were to get out of the seat switch, it will turn off the saw blade as well, and it will also put the machine park brake on. Just under the left arm console, you will find a diagnostic connection. This is where the engine module can be connected to for troubleshooting. Moving rearward on the floor, you will see the service brake on the left side. This is typically utilized to hold the machine on a hill, but it is not used as a primary brake, as the emergency brake should be utilized instead. Off to the right side here, you'll see the machine propel forward and rearward. This will also have a selectable option to either use the foot pedal or the hand joystick to propel the machine forward, which is located in the center. This joystick, if you move it into the forward quadrant, will make the machine go forward, if so selected in the hand switch position. Rearward will make the machine go rearward, and left will make the machine steer left. Right will make the machine steer right or articulate to the right. Moving rearward of the emergency stop, we'll get into the keypad operation. There are 8 buttons on this keypad. The first one being the park brake on the top left. The park brake automatically defaults to on when the machine is shut off or turned on. It will need to be pressed one time to release the brakes. Moving across the top to the right, you will see the wiper switch. This will have one light on the left and one light on the right. The first light will indicate low speed and 2 lights will indicate high speed. By pressing it a third time, it will turn the wiper off. The third button is the fan switch. This also has a high and a low, just as the wiper has. The third switch will also turn the fan off. The fourth button is the saw blade function. This will turn the blade on with a quick double press. It will turn off with a single press. The indicator light in the center will show if the blade is currently on when it's illuminated. Moving down to the second row, first off is the diff lock. This is utilized in low traction conditions. In order to use this feature, the park brake must be on to switch the diff lock to the on position, while the T-case must be in low, as well as the hydraulic shift in low speed. Once the diff lock is turned on, the park brake can be released and you can operate the machine. Moving across to the right, you'll see the hydraulic shift. This is the 2-speed function that can be utilized on the fly while driving. It is not necessary to push the park brake on to select this one. Moving to the next option here is the hand-foot selector. This is where we previously discussed how to change the propel forward and reverse function from the foot pedal to the joystick. As coordinated with the foot in the hand icon, the LED on the left is the foot, the LED on the right will show the hand control for the joystick. The last important thing you need to know about this keypad is the blinking green light. This light will have different blink sequences based on its functionality, whether it's operating as normal or if it's in an error state. You can find more information on that in the service manual. The left joystick, the forward and back, is going to be the telescope portion of the boom. Forward will move the boom out or extend, and rearward will move the boom in or retract. If you move the joystick to the right, it will swing the machine or the entire pedestal to the right or counterclockwise. Left will do the opposite. You'll find 2 buttons on this joystick that are to be thumb controlled. This is going to operate the saw blade rotation. It has 180 degrees of rotation, and the left will rotate it counterclockwise and the right will rotate it clockwise. The machine is equipped with safety interlock switches, one on each joystick. One or both of these buttons will need to be pressed at all times in order to operate any boom functions. Moving to the right joystick, this joystick, if moved forward, will lower the boom. If moved rearward, it will raise the boom or bring it up. By moving this joystick left, it will tilt the upright of the machine and the cab to left side to a maximum of 30 degrees to the machine plane. Moving it to the right will move it to the right to the machine plane up to 30 degrees as well. The cab is ROPS and FOPS certified, which means it is rollover protected and certified. The FOPS is protected for falling objects and it's tested accordingly. The operator seat is also adjustable front to back with a lever underneath the center joystick, and also reclinable with a knob at the pivot of the left side of the back seat. Along the left side you will find the seat belt, and the right side you'll find the seat belt where it hooks together. Just behind the operator seat you'll find the HVAC heat and AC unit. This is where you'll find vents with adjustable louvers to adjust accordingly for defrost and to keep the climate controlled. The rear window of the Jarraff trimmer has a pop-out safety window, so if you're in a situation where you need to evacuate the cab, you pull the tag and this window will push out the rear as an escape hatch. If you look at the left upper side of the cab, there is a slope indicator showing your fore-aft position relative to the ground. The limitations of the Jarraff trimmer in the wheel configuration is 25 degrees fore-aft and 25 degrees side to side. In the quad track configuration, it is 25 degrees fore-aft and 20 degrees side to side, as indicated by the placard just left of the slope indicator.